Hey everyone, welcome to the horror show. I'm Cecil, Laird.
Harron.
I mean, Fuego here.
And we are here for a special Halloween review as we record this anyway. Forgive the background noise, we're gonna do our best here, but it's gonna be a test of this microphone, see just how good it is. But
yeah,
guys, we got to see a semi-early screening of Suspiria for 2018. I say semi-early because it was open on 3 screens as of last Friday. I think 2 in LA, 1 in New York. And so it's just come out here. So we are going to talk about this movie like we talk about all of them, you guys, which is we're going to start off with our overall thoughts. We're going to talk about the story, the acting, the effects, all that good stuff in turn. But first, I'm gonna give my overall thoughts, which are this movie is definitely way long, in my opinion. Now, I'd have to rewatch it in order to see if it really justifies the length. But it was very long. However, I did enjoy the film. I thought that, as far as movies like this go, which I'm not generally a fan of, surprisingly, there was a lot of carnage that actually made me very happy, and kept me engaged the whole time, which is not a usual thing for these kinds of horror films. So, yeah, overall, I'm gonna say I was happy with it, but I don't know that I'd dive right back into watching it again anytime soon. So, Dirk, what were your thoughts?
I loved it.
I could have guessed that a mile away.
Well, I enjoy the original one, but this one definitely there was moments in the movie that paralleled it, but this was a more full story. Like I think that the original was very much more about like these dreamlike scenes and situations, and but this one there was like this whole other story behind it that I totally dug. I love the doctor character, and I thought it was very interesting how his story played out. That was something completely new.
Yeah, he kind of was
really
the main
enjoyed
character ultimately.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough. Fuego?
Yeah, I was impressed with this film. It was ambitious. Let's put it that way. Especially, I mean, over 2.5 hours in length compared to the original, which I think was like around 100 minutes.
Make sure you guys are projecting because of the
something
traffic
like that.
and everything.
Yeah. But I mean, good performances, amazing soundtrack by Tom York from Radiohead, and whether it was like just the ambient moments or whether it was like these discordant, like weird sonic booms practically in certain points, I thought all the performances were pretty damn good. And biggest thing, just to kind of echo what Dirk said, by changing the setting and everything and adding the World War II aspect and the subplot of all of that and having it in Berlin as opposed to, I believe the original one takes place in Paris, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's Germany.
Is it Germany?
Yes.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm obviously wrong then, but it's been over a decade since I've watched this movie. I planned to rewatch it before watching this, and I threw it on one night and I fell asleep. It's Dario Argento, late at night, kind of slower moving, quiet and brooding and all that. I don't know. Jessica Harper does have an interesting cameo in this, though, I gotta say, lady from the original. So overall impression, so yeah, it's ambitious and maybe it's a little longer too, but I still quite enjoyed it. So.
Now, just to be clear, so you know what all the perspectives are. Dirk's seen the original all the way through. Fuego did, obviously, about 10 years ago. Didn't get to rewatch it. I have never seen the original, so I'm going into this one with a completely fresh look and completely fresh mind on it. And yeah, I was surprised at what I ended up getting. I have a feeling I got a lot more carnage maybe than I would have in the original, but I don't know that for sure. But it definitely played more to my sensibilities than I thought the original would have. Just based on the little bit that I do know about it, which is not much, I'll be honest with you. But I mean, I don't know. Dirk, why don't you go ahead and give the story your best crack, but kind of truncate it if you can.
Well, probably Jaime is better at
You think you could do it better?
Story.
Oh man, we're just gonna pass the
Well, it's all over the. Here's the thing.
I'm passing the buck.
It's not the easiest film to follow, in my estimation. It's about an old man, a doctor who has obviously lived through some stuff. He's German. or at least he's speaking German through the whole thing, and so he.
He's always simplified. There's a ballet school which is a coven of witches. I mean, it's a very simple concept on paper. There's an American girl who comes, who has admired this particular woman, Madame Blanc, for a long time.
Played by Tilda Swinton.
Exactly, spectacularly. And Tilda Swinton also played the old man too, under heavy prosthetics.
Oh,
the doctor.
I knew it was makeup. I was like, who is it?
Yeah. And she plays Marcos too, Helena Marcos.
Oh. So lo and behold, though, the film essentially starts with this dancer at the school who is very unsettled by a lot of the inner workings and the things going on behind the scenes at this school, and just a brooding, just evil spiritual presence. And she goes to consult this doctor about it that we mentioned, and that's how the film essentially starts out. And then we have Dakota Johnson's character show up. She's the American aspiring dancer, and she wows and impresses immediately with her routine. And Tilda Swinton's Madame Blanc feels her energy immediately when she starts dancing.
That was really cool.
That was a very cool scene, and it actually shows just she's there for a purpose without spoiling anything, and it builds. It's interesting, and you see there's a scene which everybody's been talking about, especially out of the festival circuit. It's very well done.
Yeah, and very worthy of discussion.
Exactly. I guess we'll get to that after performances, but even that performance, I don't know if it was a contortionist that
had to.
Yeah, exactly. But we're talking flailing arms and paralleling with the dance going on at the same time, almost like this. I don't know, simultaneous, synced up, like raking torture, pulling of limbs and stuff.
It's the closest approximation to me is it was dance voodoo.
Yeah.
And it was really actually cool. Honestly, one of my favorite things about this film was the use of dance, because honestly it was the way the witches conjured, as it were, in this was via dance, or at least in part. Obviously there's things drawn on the ground later on
it's
that
like
all this happens on.
It's like a manifestation of a spell, though.
It is. Yeah, this is how they're casting the spell, and God, it was really interesting to me to see that. I love when films use, and this I would say this is a film more than a movie. I hate when people make that distinction, but to me this was. I just like when productions like this use art in sort of a different way, or at least an art form, in a way that we haven't seen before. And I think this was Black Swan was almost this. This takes it a step even further.
This is almost like push Black Swan with like Hereditary.
A little bit.
In some ways, especially like the third act and some of the stuff at the end.
That's okay. I see what you're talking about
Hereditary
now. I see what you're talking about now.
Well, to add to what the story's about too is I love the character of Sarah and how her meeting up with the doctor, and then that whole story unraveling what the doctor knows from his patient and passes on to Sarah, and allows Sarah to find out the mystery behind this dance troupe.
She's torn basically, because she's the one who initially brings in the Susie character from America, Dakota Johnson's character, and kind of gives her this warm welcome and everything, and tries to say everything's going to be okay, this is going to be a smooth transition, and then in turn she starts to second guess herself about, okay, should I be so welcoming? Is everything as okay as I want it to be here, and as I keep telling myself that it is? And as she unravels the mystery, and this movie gets pretty crazy in the third act without spoiling anything. It really goes for it. It gets kind of bonkers.
Before we get there, though, let's hit the acting. I mean, we've touched on a little bit. I thought Dakota Johnson was super strong.
Yeah, I thought so too. She got a lot of crap for being in those 50 Shades movies, but pretty much everything else I've seen her in, from Bad Times.
She was great. Yeah.
She was great. She's terrific in this. She's sexy too.
Tilda Swinton is always awesome.
Yeah,
of course, and playing multiple roles like that, it's always always impressive.
She's distinguished herself from Kate Blanchett to me, because when I was younger, I used to get the two of them.
Yeah, I see how people can still do that.
Yeah, she's terrific in it. All the supporting players too.
Yeah, I thought the girl that played Sarah was
I've seen her in a few things. I want to say she's a German actress. Oh, yeah, she's a German. She's probably a German actress, but I know I've seen her in a few other things. And
she was in Marrowbone. I don't know if you've seen that. It's a recent movie that was released.
And your thoughts on the acting, Dirk?
I really enjoyed it, especially Tilda Swinton. I wonder if she's going to get a couple of nominations.
That would be really impressive.
Honestly,
really, and I could see how.
Nominated in the supporting category
for actor and
yes.
actress.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
I would love to see that.
God, that'd be great.
Yeah, there's some legit buzz about this movie too. On those couple screens that it was on, it had the highest per screen average of like anything that was out last weekend, including Halloween.
I honestly,
it goes wide next week.
It's unfortunate that I don't think this is going to do nearly the amount of money it's probably going to deserve to do.
It's not going to do Hereditary.
Well, definitely not, but I mean, I think the length is going to kill it, and I think the subject matter is not going to be appealing enough to most people.
Well, and the fact that it goes through some of that carnage, which I was skeptical if it was really going to go like as far as it did in certain instances, and it did.
I mean, there's gore galore, guys. We might as well just get into it.
I feel like it's going to be another like Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
People
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah,
love that.
Yeah, I know. I love that movie too, and it didn't get the praise that it deserved.
Yeah, and this is a follow-up to a film that Luca.
Not a follow-up.
Well, it's his feature after Call Me by Your Name, which got a lot of Oscar buzz. Yeah. Luca Guadagnino, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
He gained a ton of buzz, with that particular film, Timothy Army Hammer. But long story short, this is definitely a very drastic departure for him. But this was a passion project from what I've read. He had actually been talking with Tilda Swinton about wanting to remake Suspiria for a long time now, and it's cool that they finally got to do it. And as you said, like just. I'm not going to say improve, but definitely like expand upon the storytelling aspect, because this has a lot more to say and a lot more going on, I think, than the original movie did.
And again, just to touch on it again, I did say gore galore, and I'm not kidding. I mean, there's way more gore in this than I thought there was going to be. There's
a little too CGI for me at times.
A little too much. Well, but I didn't mind. Actually, I thought they played that particular scene. They played it like a dance. Especially towards the end of it, when they did something, they raised the camera and then they messed with the speed of how the film was presented, and I was like, this is like a gorgeously macabre ballroom dance right now that I'm witnessing, and it was really interesting. Like, I love when horror can lend itself to something else, you know. I was really like, it's like literally dancing among the blood and things like that. I'm like, this is crazy, but it's like so engaging to watch as a horror fan.
I really dug those kind of trip out sequences that they had, where I mean they were like slowing the footage, but it got like grainier and distorted almost.
Yeah.
And there's like these weird like rainbow type shimmer colors going down.
Yeah, the dream sequences were great. Just all the flashes of all this strange stuff that does kind of play in towards the end. So.
Some of these effects, I will warn, are going to bother some of you guys. That slowed down grainy look, that skippy sort of thing is going to piss some people off. But those of you that can appreciate sort of the auteur aspect of this film, then
which this just oozes. This is
absolutely
ambitiously artistic. Really, I mean, just the construction of it, every shot, the camera movements. I mean, you can tell this is a pro who was assembling this, man. And talk about a pro assembling stuff. The music for this film that Tom York from Radiohead did is, I'm going to go buy the score. Like, I'm definitely buying that. Jeez, it just wowed me. It was haunting at times. There's other times where it was just disorienting and made you feel tripped out, just like some of those sequences we were discussing. So
yeah, the score did stick out to me too. I was like, this is really good music they've got going right now. Like,
that's
very impressive.
That's what I loved about when it showed each chapter of the story, each act. It would show you the piece of music that was going to play in that
I didn't even realize
that act. Yeah, it showed all the finger structure of how you would play it on piano, and I just thought that's amazing. Like, I've never seen that before, where they actually show you how to play it.
Do prepare for an epilogue that rivals Return of the King, though, because It was a long epilogue.
But
It was a good epilogue. It ended up being very effective, I'll say that much.
There was a little post-credit, too, that Dirk and I hung around for.
Was there really?
Yeah.
I was making a joke. I was like, guys, stay for the post-credit. And I got up and left. I'm like, there's no way. But there really was one?
It's
Oh, that's
just a
hilarious.
quick little shot.
Oh, okay.
I think it had more meaning than you think.
Really now.
All right, we'll have to discuss off camera. But yeah, I think that's as good a place as any to call our review. Obviously, we kept it non-spoiler for you guys. Make sure you go and check it out if this sounds even remotely interesting. If you like witch movies that are not far off of, like The Witch or what was it, The Handmaid's? No, not The Handmaid's Tale. What's the other one that we really liked that was sort of out there that Drewby had to explain to us, Andrew?
Oh, Blackcoat's Daughter.
Blackcoat's Daughter. Yeah, I feel like it's sort of in that sort of slower build, but really good payoff vein. I disagree that The Witch doesn't fall in that category, but Blackcoat's Daughter does, for me.
I felt like it felt a lot like the remake of Evil Dead at times.
Well, okay, I see how you could say that at times, for sure. At times, yeah. But yeah, guys, worth your time for sure. I would actually recommend take your parents to it. They might appreciate it because there is a story for older folks in here that can touch if they can handle the gore. So
it's a hefty drama at the end of the day, even more so than a horror movie. You know, and it balances those tones very nicely.
Yeah, so thank you guys very much for watching. Click the link in the description box for our Patreon if you want to support the channel that way. If you do so, we greatly appreciate it, and you can recommend movies for us to review along with comics, books, video games even. You can actually control some of the content right here on the channel. Again, that link is in the description box down below. Until next time, though, I've been Cecil Laird.
Dirk Harron.
Gracias, Jaime. Fuego.
And remember, stay scared!